Here you can see, right, nice chameleon is there, right, in the tube, right. So children, we are going to discuss how animals diverse, right? So you know children, I explain you what is called as diversity, right? Differences of animals, right? Diversity means vividatvaya, right? Different characteristic features available in animals, right? Okay, so then we'll move with that, right? So children, you observe that there are a lot of animals around you, right? So their color, size of their body, shape of their body, right? And the mode of locomotion, mode of nutrition is different, right? So children, you know fish and birds having their streamlined body, right? Because of that, they can move or they can avoid water resistance, right? Water resistance, jala pratirodhitavya, as well as air resistance, right? Resistance means coming, right? That is opposite force, right? For their movement, right? So children, you know, according to their mode of nutrition, right? Omnivores, carnivores, right? Herbivores. Likewise, we have discussed these things in your grade 6 also. Okay, children, and their body color, some are changing their body color according to the situation, right? For adapt their environment, likewise. So children, animal diversity, I told you some of the simple ways that how animals can diverse, right, from each other, right? At least in human population, you are not like me, right? We are different. That's why we can see human diversity, right? So grade 7, according to your grade 7, there are few criteria that we can see differences among animals. Okay, children. Here, children, rather than these criteria, children, there are a lot of criteria that we can see differences among animals. Right? අපි මේ කියන criteria වලට අමතරව තව ගොඩාක් criteria තියෙනවා සත්තු වෙනස් වෙන. Right? So children, we'll quickly write down what are the 5 criteria that we can see here. Why these animals are different from each other, right? The first one we can get it as body color, right? Okay, and then shape of the body, right? And then mode of locomotion means moving from one place to another place. Some are swimming, some are flying, some are gliding, right? Some are creeping, some are fluttering, right? Butterfly fly. Okay, so then mode of locomotion. Okay, right. So what is the other one? Mode of nutrition. What they eat. Okay, what they eat. And then size of the body. Size of the body. Okay, likewise. So according to your grade 7 criteria, right, these are the 5 points that they have used to classify these animals. Classify means I told you varga karana, grouping, right? Okay, so but children, we are using sometimes evolutionary bonds, right, between these animals. We are checking their genetics also. We are checking their genes also. And we are creating plesiotropic trees, right? නේද? පරිණාමික බන්ධුතාවය පෙන්වන රුක් සටහන් එහෙමත් අඳිනවා, right? ඒව ඕනේ නැහැ ඔයාලට, right? That is not needed. Okay? Right. Okay. So children, have a look here. You can see this is snail, right? This is snail. And this is what? This is crab. By their appearance also, you can see these are diverse. These are different from each other. Okay, this one has a muscular foot. Peshimaya part there, right? And this one you can see there are lot of appendages, right? And this one have right here wet skin, right? This one is toad. Toad. How we can identify frog and toad, dear children, right? So frog have membranous among their fingers, right? Frog ගේ තියෙනවා මෙන්න මෙහෙම. ඔන්න ඔහොම. Right? But children don't have separated fingers, right? Okay, from the membranes. Okay, so that is one of the difference between toad and frog. Toad means media, toad. All right? Okay. So children, I hope that you have written these few points. Okay? Right. Right. Children, we discussed that animals are different, no? Right? There are major two groups of animals, right? With the presence of their, according to their central line of their bones, right? Children, we are perpendicular to ground. We are perpendicular to the ground. Perpendicular means lambakai, right? And we are staying vertical manner, right? Children, can you see the central line of the bones? Central line of the bones, can you see? Right? Other bones have fixed into this middle line, right? The central line of the body is called as backbone, right? Backbone. නේද? Backbone. පොඩ්ඩක් අල්ලලා බලන්න backbone එක තියෙනවද කියලා. Just check whether you have a backbone. Check whether you have a central line of bones, right? Likewise. Okay. So children may, at the end of this central line, right, we can touch it and feel it, right? So it is said that according to the evolutionary history, that is the place where our tail fallen. අපිට නැට්ටක් තිබ්බයි කියනවයි කියනවනේ, right? මොකද හිතෙන්න අපිට අද කාලේ නැට්ටක් තිබ්බනම්, right? නේද? How fantastic, no? Girls are right tying ribbons, නේද? Right? නේද? So then boys are sewing kind of a right? නේද? මොකක් හරි සාක්කුවක් දාගෙන සාක්කුවක් මහගෙන දාගෙන ඉන්නේ අපිට තාමත් නැට්ට තිබ්බනම්, right? Okay. So if we had a tail, නේද? ගෑල් ළමයි ඔකට ලස්සන කටුවක් ගහලා එහෙම එයි නේද? Right? Okay. So however our tail fallen. Okay? Right. So here children, this is central line of the bones. So you know children, dog. Dog also they have central line of bones. Have a look. Yeah, I'll show you, right? Okay. What we call central line of bones in animal, that is called as our backbone, right? That is backbone. Backbone means pitakonda. Kondu ettaya, right? Vertebrates and invertebrates. There are major two groups of animals, right? I'll tell you what is this vertebrate group, what is called as invertebrate group. Okay? Right. Backbone. Right? This is our backbone. You know, dogs, cats are horizontal to the ground. Regular tiras follow, but horizontal. We are vertical. Right? Okay. So then children, based on that, there are two main types of animals. Vertebrates, animals with backbone. Here you can see animals with backbone. Invertebrates means animals without backbone. මේ බලන්නකෝනේ මෙයාලට තියෙනවවත් කියලා හිතන්න පුළුවන්. They don't have a backbone. So major two group of animals are there with the presence of backbone. Animals who have a backbone or a central line of bones called as vertebrates, Prushtavanshin. Invertebrates, animals who don't have a backbone. Okay, right. So in the page number 3, here children have a look, just like Jurassic Park. You can see the central line of bones, the backbone. Here you can see frog also having central line of bone. Right, here also this ostrich having central line of bones. That means backbone. Here you can see skeleton of elephant, skeleton of crocodile, right? Here you can see central line of bones, right? Okay, here we'll define vertebrates, animals who have a backbone or central line of bones, right? Called as vertebrates.
Teacher,
Yes.
class finish කරන්න කීයටද teacher?
තව විනාඩි 2කින් විතර ඉවරයි. Okay. Right? Within 2 minutes, it will be finished. Okay. Right. My lesson is very easy, children. This lesson is very easy, yeah? Right. Have you written this definition?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Invertebrates. Here, children, can you see any backbone here? Can you see any central line of bone here? No. Right? They don't have. Right? Here, prawn, earthworm, sea anemone, we cannot see that. Okay? Here, children, invertebrates, animals who have not who neither, right? Animals which when known, neither, right? Which have a backbone, haven't a backbone. ළමයි මේ දවස්වල මගේ ඔළුවත් නිකන් මෙව්ව වෙලා ගින් ඈ. Right? Okay. Animals which don't have a backbone. Have a backbone. That means or a don't have a central line of bones. මේකද ළමයි මේ who කියන්න එපා ඈ. who නෙමෙයිනේ. who නෙමෙයි. which relative clause නේ. which. who කපන්න which. Here, vertebrates, animals which have a backbone. Central line of bones. Central, eh? Here, children, this one. Okay, right. So, quickly write this definition, and by this point, children, we are going to wind up here for a while. And children, don't miss the classes because we are going to start second term lessons, right? Okay, so this lesson will be finished next week. So then we are going to start our next lesson. And children, although if your school examinations finish, right, I am inviting you to join with the paper class also, right, because it will give you kind of a helping hand for your oncoming examinations, for the second term examination. More practice, you can gain more marks. Okay, children, I can certify it, right? Okay, so children, I'll put the link into the group. Until we meet again at, yeah, we'll meet at 8:05. Okay, 8:05, and have your dinner and then come back at 8:05. Okay, thank you for logging.